Don't mind me as I start this Mavic 3 and get it up in the air, because you can see this lighting is really, really gorgeous right now. I want to talk about in this video hyperlapses, and it's something that I was just looking at my old footage and I was like, I don't think I've taken a hyperlapse in at least 6 months or maybe even a year. So my new goal in 2023 is to get as many hyperlapses with this Mavic 3 as I can. And I just want to show you guys some tips today to make them even better. So without taking too long, I'm going to get this drone up, get this lighting going, and we'll explain some tips as I go through them here. Hey, what's up guys? My name's Kris Luckenbach, and I'm currently getting a really nice reflection drone shot real quick and beautiful Kodiak, Alaska here. And I just want to introduce myself. I'm a Part 107 pilot here, also photographer. This is a great spot if you're in Alaska, Kodiak Island, to see some bears in the summertime. Hopefully, I don't run into one while I'm talking to you guys, because sometimes they are quiet and they'll just sneak up on you. All right, so as I line up everything, I'm just trying to figure out what composition I want to use. I think I'm going to back up quite a bit. And the first rule of hyperlapses is getting movement. If it's 1 o'clock p.m. on a cloudless day and you're in a desert or on top of a mountain, there's nothing going on around you, well, you're not going to want to do a hyperlapse there. Nice light right now. The clouds are nice and puffy. They're changing in light really quickly. Perfect hyperlapse day, honestly. And you just really want to make sure you get as much movement in your hyperlapse as possible. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see which way the clouds are going. So if you just kind of stand still, look at the clouds for a second, you should be able to tell. Looks like they're going to the right just a little bit. So I like to fly in the opposite direction of clouds. So maybe I'll start from back here. This lighting is absolutely insane. Okay, so I think if I do this, if I start here, let's go right into the hyperlapse mode on your drone. And we'll do maybe like, since it's really nice out, we'll do, oh, this record button is in my way here. Let's do a 3 second, let's make it like an 8 second. We'll do 200 photos. I'm good with this lighting because we can edit everything in Adobe Lightroom, and that's what I'm going to show you in this video, is how to edit them as well. So first tip, make sure there's movement in your time lapse. Second, you want to get some counter movement as well, and that's why I kind of positioned the trees at the bottom of this hyperlapse, because if you're 400 feet up in the air and there's nothing going on and there's only one thing moving and that's the clouds, it's going to be kind of boring. So this is just going to add something else for a little parallax type effect here. Let's do a waypoint hyperlapse. All right, so I'm just going to set my first waypoint right here. The next waypoint is going to be, I'm trying to actually see if this is what I want my way. Let me see. I think I can get a better angle. Honestly, I think this hyperlapse might end up better if I go forward. And I say that because I like these trees right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to delete that. I'm going to start low like that. I'm going to just fly forward, go up a little bit. We'll just do 3 waypoints. Okay, I think that's going to look good. Let's go ahead and let's just start before we lose any more lighting here. And the drone's going to go back to where it was. It says it's going to take 6 minutes to complete this. So a lot can change in this lighting. You can see how much changed already in 6 minutes. As it records, I want to talk about some other great instances that you could do hyperlapses. You want to do them on foggy days. If you live in a city, I love long exposure nighttime hyperlapses. I've only been able to do 1.5. I did one here before, and I did one in Hawaii a few months ago. So yeah, it was about 6 months ago since I did my last one. And I really liked the nighttime one, and I made a mistake that I told you not to make, and that was I did a little too much movement. It still looked okay, but I tried too hard to make it look cool. My goal is to get 2 of these hyperlapses today, maybe one with a reflection or something, because it is just, it's just so nice out. And that's the one thing, sometimes I have 2 cameras, and sometimes I wish I had 2 drones. Well, I have an Avata, but sometimes I wish I had another drone so I can just kind of get some different perspectives in this lighting. And that's why I haven't done many hyperlapses, and that's because sometimes I just wish that I could do everything. But I realize more professionals do less is more, and if I can get one good thing to look good, well, it looks better than 50 things that look okay. So I think this will be worth it. I've done a couple hyperlapses with some reflections, and in Kodiak we had this thing called Crab Fest, and it's like a little festival over town, and we used to get rides here, and it was really cool. That was like in 2019 I did that. That was the last one we had rides in. So the reflection on the water looked so cool. Just say one thing, and that's really just take the less is more approach with drones and hyperlapses. This should look good because the foreground is changing quite a bit. The mountains in the upper background are kind of in the same position. They're slightly moving, and the clouds should be moving pretty good. Kind of want to get that Avata going. I'm not gonna fly 2 drones at once. I don't want to have the goggles on and worry about my drone being up in the air somewhere. So it's days like this that get me super excited for summertime. Getting out early in the morning, a little bit warmer. It's a little cold, but I can't wait to just explore and get more footage with the Mavic 3. As I mentioned before, I do like to shoot these in full RAW with full manual exposures that I can edit in Lightroom. And you can either make these videos in Premiere Pro or your favorite video editing software, but I use the combination of Lightroom and this program called LR Timelapse. It works really great for time lapses, and it should work great for hyperlapses as well. If there's any flicker, it can get rid of it. I think overall, the time lapse looks more smooth and cinematic, and that's why I like LR time lapse. Hey, DJI, send me the Mavic Pro, the Mavic 3 Pro. I can get some really cool footage for you here in remote Alaska. It's a place that not many other people have been, but it's just as beautiful as Iceland and whatnot. So that's gonna just do a 9, 10, 11, 12. It's gonna just render out the hyperlapse before you can do anything. All right, so this next hyperlapse here, I'm just gonna do a little bit of a rotation. So let's see. This is gonna be my first waypoint. Switch back to waypoint mode. And I'm just gonna hit that. This is gonna be the next shot. That's gonna be the final shot there. Let's get this one going. I got some cool shots of him just heading out on his kayak, which I think it's cool to just kind of build a few shots that just look nice over time, something you can kind of add to your portfolio. And that's just one of those really cinematic moments that is too good to pass up. So anyway, I got 2 hyperlapses. One is kind of left to right, and the other one is straight up and then kind of going over those trees over here. So I think I got 2 good ones to show you how I edit them in post-production. There's always one issue that you'll have when you're flying drones, and that's going to be a little bit of stabilization. So I'll show you how to stabilize them in post-production to make them look good and not warply and warply. Is that a word? Warply? To not look them all warpy and whatnot. So they'll look good, and let's get on to the computer now. Alrighty, I got you on the computer, and I'm gonna show you how I like to edit my hyperlapses and get them out onto social media for you. There are 3 different ways that you can do them. First one is just use the hyperlapse that comes out of your DJI Mavic 3 or whatever drone you're using. They're really fun to create and share with your friends and family. The second method is a old-fashioned way, and basically what you do is you go in Lightroom, you edit your photos, sync them up, export them into its own separate folder, bring that folder into your favorite editing software, import it as a sequence, and then it should look like a time lapse. And then this is method 3, LR time lapse. I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to use, and it's my favorite way to make any kind of time lapses these days. So let's just get right on to it now. I got another time lapse last night. It was a fun one. It was a late blue hour shot, so I have all 3 of them, but I'm gonna edit this one that I got last night. So I just got blue screen. Okay, I'll be back in a minute, I hope. Well, my computer crashed on these. We'll just restart this whole process on how I edit them. So you'll open up the program, and you'll notice when you import your folder, you'll have keyframe wizards, and this one only needs 1 keyframe, which is 1 photo that you're going to edit. And all you'll do is hit save, come here into Lightroom, go to that folder, hit the read metadata. Now there's a keyframe made, which is the 4 stars here. Now you can edit the photo how you want. We'll just do a nice little clean edit for you guys. We'll warm it up a little bit. Contrast looking good. We'll just do a little bit of clarity, and we'll soften it up a little bit like that. And we'll just do a quick little color grade. Okay, I'm really happy with that. I'm gonna go back to the library, and we'll do metadata, and then we'll save it. We can go back into LR time lapse, and now we can just hit auto transition. That'll take a second to just preview for you. So then you could do a little preview here on the top left. You see this purple bar moving. Once that is complete, then you can do a preview. Okay, and then here's the preview. As you can see, it's flickering quite a bit. That's the next step. You can do a visual deflicker. And all we're going to do is go and I'll change the settings here. These are kind of the default settings. And we'll just draw a box around where it flickers a lot, and it's really like in the sky. And now I can hit apply, let it deflicker. Okay, once that's done, we can finally export the video, and you'll just save it to wherever you want. I'm going to save it right about here. Okay. These are my settings: H.264, 4K, Ultra HD, Ultra High. Everything else here is default. Here on the right side, I'm going to do a low motion blur, and I think everything else is good. Make sure you don't click force aspect ratio, and it's going to be the 4:3 format the photo is in, and we'll do that part in post-production. So let's export and render this. Well done. Okay. Now we can preview this right here. I'm just gonna do a preview. Oh, you can see it's pretty cool. There's one problem. It's pretty shaky, and I'm gonna show you how to stabilize that right now in post-production. So to not crash my computer, I'm just gonna close all of these other programs out again. Hopefully we can open up Premiere Pro and not get blue screen. Okay, so you'll notice these are at 4:3 format. What we're gonna do is just stabilize them as is, and then we'll put it into the proper 16:9 format for video. So I'm going to go over here to effects, type in warp, and I have a 5% preset, which is what I like. Sometimes the default 20 or 50% is too much. So I think 5% usually works up pretty good. We'll see, this one was really shaky. And we might as well start this one too. This is without stabilization. You can see it's pretty bouncy. This is with stabilization. A lot better. We can even try 20% to see if I like it more. I think 20% works pretty good for that one. This is the 5%. Man, that looks good. I'm pretty happy with them. And that's basically how I do my hyperlapses and how I stabilize them. And stabilization really improves the hyperlapses the most. LR time lapse isn't an essential tool, but once you use it, you'll never want to edit time lapses the old way again. It's super fun, super convenient, and I really like that you can add a little motion blur. It looks pretty natural to it. I think maybe this one had a little bit too much. You can see each photo a little bit blurry looking at it, but that's just because the frames are blended just a little bit from the program. And then the only thing you want to do now is put them in a 16:9 format for your videos. That is the native YouTube format that you'd want to use. So I'm just going to nest both of these clips because once it's stabilized, you have to nest them. I hate Premiere Pro. I don't know why it just can't automatically do this for you. And then you'll come up here to sequence, and we'll just change this number to 3840. Hit OK. Hey, notice these black bars on the side? They're not normal, so we'll scale it up to where it's full. And you can see this is not the framing that I want. This is the framing that it gave me on the default Mavic 3 program that it exported the Hyperlapse in. I want more of the sky in here. So I'll just bring this to the top, and there we go. Now it looks a lot better. When this video ends, I'll leave you with all 3 time lapses. You tell me which one was your favorite Hyperlapse. And then I also just want to leave you with this video right here. I shot this in RAW, but maybe you are confused if you want to use RAW or JPEG in your photos on your Mavic 3. You can click that video right up here. And then that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.